This is a black omen. Rhaenyra will answer this. It's an abomination.
Don't they realize we won the battle?
Strange victory. If it was one.
Episode opens on 10 seconds of castle porn. Oh my. Just look at those thick, sturdy ramparts.
Unfunny sex joke is unfunny.
Sitting, crying, staring. Excitement?
Yet again, I'm forced to wonder why excitement is the only emotion you think is allowed to be evoked in a TV show.
Behold! The traitor dragon Maylis!
Acting as if Maylis had much choice or cares about who sits on the Iron Throne. This is like blaming a dog, or a boat, or sword. Goes where the owner goes.
Discount Jeremy fails to understand symbolism in a scene that is literally all about symbolism.
Don't they realize we won the battle?
Kristen Cole doesn't realize that in war, nobody wins. One side just dies less. Thank you for coming to my Sin Talk. Don't forget to try the slimy potatoes on your way out.
And now you're ignoring the fact that characterization exists, and this fits Kristen Cole's character perfectly.
Traitor dragon Maylis!
I thought the dragons was gods.
Homeschooling.
It's just me.
Well, he's right. But they only brought the head into this starving city, so here's a sin for wasting food.
Wait a minute, you show a scene in which one of the common people says that they thought dragons were gods, but then you say that the army should have brought the dead dragon back to the city as a food source? These people aren't going to eat dragon meat if they think dragons are gods. Think, dude, think.
I'm worried y'all took away the wrong lesson from how much everyone liked Patty's slow walk entrance in season 1. We liked that slow walking because it was a dying king coming to defend his daughter one last time. It was epic. This is just an idiot in a box.
Discount Jeremy shares his personal opinion despite having the intellect of a brick ex machina.
Episode making me think for even a second that they were about to squeeze salted lemon juice out and all over Aegon's burnt body. F*** you, Hot D. F*** you.
This sin should have gone to you, not the show, given that you made a random assumption.
His Grace fought valiantly.
He did not. Your Grace fired one shot that mostly missed the target and then proceeded to get the beatdown of a lifetime from Rhaenys and Aemond. It was like watching Naranch and the other gang members beat up on the man in the white suit in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture ref.
Kristen Cole marches about the Crown Lands unchallenged.
Well, of course he does. You'd be untouchable too if your name was as cool as Kristen Cole. It's not their fault Rhaenyra's side can't find a person with an equally or more awesome name.
Pointless throwaway sin is pointless and thrown away like the Allied powers at a Trump rally.
I myself must do it.
My queen, you are the crown. It's out of the question.
What would you have me do?
Not sure, but I'm just glad the rest of this episode won't be spent with people talking and trying to answer this question, along with Allison and company trying to figure out who will be put in Aegon's place for the time being. I mean, that'd be crazy to spend an entire hour on just 2 conversations, right? Right?
Jace, where are you going?
To Harrenhal. Retreat with the Daemon.
Oh good, that's just what we need. 2 people from Team Rhaenyra stuck in the ghost castle that sucks all the fun from their characters.
I'm not listening to your foolishness anymore. La,
Are you really doing this right
la, 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 la.
I can sit still no longer.
And yet, I can pretty much guarantee you will do nothing but sit still for the next 4 episodes, all the while moping and complaining about every single thing. It's quite the character arc.
Did you just imply that his entire character arc happens in 1 episode? Discount Jeremy doesn't understand character arcs.
She will not like it.
Then don't tell her. Not until I'm away.
Asking your fiancé to lie to your mother and risk the wrath of her future in-law. Do you want monster-in-law? Because this is how you get monster-in-law. Although, if that gives us Jane Fonda playing a badass warrior of some kind in a future episode, I'm down.
You're not funny and nobody likes you.
Dragons were a people hatched out of the deepest of the 7 hells, your grace. It would be a kindness to oblige them and send them back whence they came.
All this mono-y-mono back and forth would be even more intriguing if I knew who the f*** any of these people, outside of Daemon, were.
That's kind of the point, my dude. The individuals don't matter, only the families. Their hostility isn't due to interpersonal relationships. It's a dogmatic familial feud.
There are things the crown itself must not be seen to do.
Asking the only house that declared for you in the Riverlands to secretly commit war crimes is one thing. Not showing us any of those heinous actions or their effect on the people upon which they're being committed is another. We expect Daemon to do this But then we also expect entertaining television when he does. The problem is nothing will come of this but more off-screen calamity.
We see the effect that it has on the River Lords when they gather at Harrenhal later. Look, if you want to complain about the episode not showing us the broader effects that these actions have on the people, then that might actually be a good sin. However, he makes it sound like no effects were shown whatsoever, and as I already pointed out, that's a lie. You shouldn't need to lie in order to fill a video.
The Eyrie itself is impregnable.
As my uncle always said, you never know if an Eyrie is impregnable until you try to lick it. But maybe I shouldn't take gastronomic advice from someone who always has powdered sugar on their face.
I am now the sovereign. I cannot do as I please.
Whining about being the very thing you're fighting a war to maintain.
Pointing things out on the screen.
There is more than one way to fight a war.
But there is only one way to watch a war, which is by giving us a f***ing war to watch.
It's flat and it stinks.
Can you get it to work? Do you know what's wrong?
Chill out. Let the man do his thing.
Dude, that beer's been sitting there since before Rocky 3. Maybe even 2. It's probably poisoned by now.
Skeletor seems to like it. Bottoms up.
Damon.
Meanwhile, on Damon Season Hears Things that do not advance the overall story arc in any way. Still workshopping the title.
I'm an English major with a concentration in creative writing. One of the first things you learn in advanced writing courses is that your characters are what drive the story. Everything in a story revolves around the characters. Damon's storyline this season is almost entirely focused on developing his character, which directly plays into the story because he ends up affirming his loyalty to Rhaenyra and securing the loyalty of the River Lords. TLDR, Discount Jeremy doesn't know shit about storytelling.
You should address me as my king.
But you're the prince.
What would you call the husband of the queen?
TV show about dragons burning cities and tearing each other to shreds has time for this.
Removing Sir Simon's response to Daemon is downright criminal.
You should address me as my king.
But you're the prince.
What would you call the husband of the queen?
Well, the king.
There it is then.
Consort.
Shove these 5 sins where the sun don't shine.
The armor was Valyrian steel, but his grace suffered grievous burns over much of his body.
You can tell me the armor was made of magical tungsten carbide and forged in the fires of Mount Northrop Grunham, and I still wouldn't believe for a second that Aegon would still be f***ing alive.
Okay, so this sin harkens back to a previous sin about Aegon surviving the Dragonfire. In this scene, the Grand Maester provides the mechanism by which Aegon was able to survive, but Discount Jeremy responds by saying, "Nuh-uh. Sorry, but that's not good enough. Here are 2 sins for this one and the earlier one."
Experience is valuable, yes, but the Dowager Queen is a woman.
Being surprised when the men you told Rhaenyra wouldn't let a woman rule, all choose to not let a woman rule.
Who said anyone is surprised? You're just making shit up.
What is our standing in the Riverlands?
Well, Your Grace, standing is about all that's happening in the Riverlands right now. Daemon has been standing there all season doing nothing.
Discount Jeremy double dips cliche.
Someone cut down the f***ing rat catchers.
Can we see them cut down the f***ing rat catchers? That would almost qualify as action in this episode. Okay, I don't really want to see them cut down the rat catchers, but I kind of do.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long, Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him.
Good strategy you've got there. As every riot cop on the force will tell you, the one thing that stops an angry mob is a fierce command to disperse.
What do you expect them to do? Take off their armor and let the mob overrun them?
The wind's rising. Winter's nigh upon us.
I realize there's going to be some callbacks to Game of Thrones since it's a spin-off and everything, but also be aware that when you make comments along the line of winter is coming, all you are making me do is want to watch Game of Thrones instead of continuing to watch House of the Dragon.
So your own shitty attention span is a sin of this episode? Yeah, I'm not convinced.
You fear a dragon. Leagues away.
I mean, yeah, it's a f***ing dragon. I think it would be weirder if they didn't fear the dragon. Because it's a f***ing dragon.
This sin perfectly encapsulates the dishonesty of TVSins. They actively cut out the ending of this line, which makes it clear that Jaehaerys was mocking him for fearing a dragon that's many leagues away when his own dragon is on their doorstep.
Our fear lies in Vhagar.
You fear a dragon. Leagues away when mine own sits outside your walls.
TVSins literally cut this line in half so that their audience wouldn't know the context or Jaehaerys' actual point.
Want Harrenhal.
Cool. I actually want to go back to talking about the table.
Skip.
Lumberjack who?
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture.
The castle is a tomb.
Oh, look at Mr.
Skip.
Have you any message for him?
Tell him I would much like to finish our last conversation.
Goody. Another conversation.
Yeah, what else? Oh, yeah, we gotta trim some of the fat around here.
Trim the... What do you mean by trim the fat?
I want you to fire the fat people.
What is it, Sir Simon? Is the pudding now served?
Being grumpy about pudding. I don't care.
Skip?
Dragon or no, we shall not raise our banners for a tyrant.
At least, not for another 3 episodes.
And now you're ignoring the fact that Daemon makes amends for his actions by executing Lord Blackwood. The dishonesty of these people knows no bounds.
You chafed at being prevented from action. Imagine, my lord, I'm a dragon rider as well, with a war being fought over my ascension.
Complaining like a kid to your kid.
Pointing things out on the screen to your sycophants.
I need dragons.
My thoughts while watching this episode somehow make their way into this episode.
There are records here, surely, of our line.
Oh, good. Just what this snooze fest of a season needed. Paperwork.
Zach? Zach, the bones. What did you do with the bones?
Nothing. Dr. Brennan, I left them on the table just like you asked.
Where the hell are my bones?
Look at that, look.
I don't know about that.
This is not possible.
You're done. You're done.
That's what I get served. Look, come here, all of you. He brings that pissing over, and the big surprise. What the f is going on?
I'm gonna get through this, Chef. I'm gonna get through it.